I don't want to monopolize too much, so I'll pass over to Neil after this next one. But I couldn't help but notice that a lot of the players have come through the National Development Centers. What's the role that plays in concentrating and developing talent for you guys?
Yeah, actually, it's been critical, especially this year. It's shown up quite a bit. A couple things. We have staff at each of those centers. They're concentrated in one center, so the messaging, the learning that we had from last year and the messaging that we're moving forward with can be concentrated with those groups. So when we do get those groups in the last qualifier, those kids were already well versed on things we were going to try to implement. So the preparation for us with those groups has been much further along than it was last year.
Excellent. I'll pass it over to Neil and jump back in later.
Thanks, James. Cindy, it's another very condensed schedule. Games, just not much time between the games. I seem to recall that in the qualifiers you used all your roster. Will you have to do the same again with such little turnaround time?
Yeah, you're right. It is condensed. So some of the resting strategies that we used in the qualifier, we're going to attempt to use that again. However, of course, the main objective is to qualify. So that's what we're there for. And we do plan to have some rotations to make sure we have players that are fresh and ready to go as we continue through the tournament. We do have to keep in mind there's game day and in-game scenarios that we'll have to adjust to.
And Will, I believe Zoe was your captain last time. Is that the case? Will she still be captain?
She was for the U17s. We actually had some rotating captains for the last qualifier, and Florian and Olivia, just because we actually hadn't had any time with the group prior to qualifying. So it was a newly developed group, of course, a mixture of U17s and the U20s that were with myself. So that leadership group is just forming. So in the last, a few weeks ago, we had Florian, we had Olivia, we also had Thea as well step in. So we decided to rotate a little bit just because we didn't know the group and it was still forming. And that's a connect with staff that we'll have when we get there on how we're going to proceed with that.
And can I ask you about your attack? You have a lot of weapons there. Obviously, Amanda being a young signing in the NWSL, and Olivia and Rosa and all those. Can you kind of give us your thoughts on the offensive weapons you have at your disposal?
Yeah, obviously it's very exciting to have those kids across the front and getting some really good experience. I think, with Amanda and Olivia, you have, two of the young footballers, best attackers with potential in the world, really. I mean, they're going to be in good environments, and for us to be able to use them at this competition is critical. Olivia was 2 years young with us last time, so she's definitely had some maturing, and she's growing into a more dangerous player with the experience she's had over the last year. We also have some really exciting young players, and Annabelle has come in and discovered in the NDC and has spent some time there, and obviously with the U17s, and she's an exciting up and coming striker as well. So we'll look to use all of them. They're all going to play different roles, and they'll be critical for us, of course, in scoring goals.
And one more from me, if I may, and then I'll hand it back to James. The conditions can always be quite an adventure down there. You've experienced that. What are you expecting down there in that regard?
Yeah, it's a good question, and one that we've battled with both times we've been down there. The kids have to prepare themselves, and we have to prepare. They have to prepare their footwear, of course, and we have to prepare for strategies on how we're going to handle that. And it can change a game plan in a hurry, that's for sure. We are playing a little bit earlier in the first couple games, so probably just anticipate more heat than the rain that we experienced in the last couple. But whatever comes at us, we'll have strategies and be ready.
Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Before we go back to James, Roger, did you have any question?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Roger Reynolds from Sports Today Canada, Deportes Hoy Canada in Spanish. Nice to meet you, Cindy. Good luck and all the best to everybody. I would like to ask you about the nutrition. I think nutrition is very important. What kind of meals do they have for the players? Obviously, every country has different meals, their own national meals, etc. So I apologize for this. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's no problem. We have a sports scientist on staff, Bruna, and she works with the hotels in which we're staying in to make sure that we have healthy options. We have a lot of protein, a lot of carbohydrates, so a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, a lot of rice, and salad. Not a lot of sugar, of course. So we have some good options when we're down there with our nutrition.
Thanks, Cindy. Let's go back to James.
Thank you. Cindy, I'd just like to get your thoughts on the group and maybe the pattern of matches, going from Jamaica to Panama and the U.S., maybe building into that final third game.
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting for us because you're looking at really three different styles, which is what we want our young players to experience. And Jamaica, the athletic, physical, maybe not as organized coming in, so a bit unorthodox, so I'll prepare for that. And then, of course, Panama will be a little bit more organized, maybe less athletic than we might see with Jamaica. And probably will have some sort of tricks up their sleeve when you talk about international play, and our young players will experience that in gamesmanship. And then, of course, the U.S., someone that we're really excited to play. And, of course, they'll be organized and ready to go, and we will as well, and I'm looking forward to all those matches.
Perfect. And the last one for me, you touched on this a little bit, but what's the target? What are the targets that you put in front of this group going into the competition?
Number one, obviously, qualifying. That's what we want to do. And another one we talk about is no goals against, which is something that we worked towards in the last qualifying, and we'll work towards in this qualifying again. That would be the ideal scenario. And just tactical excellence, like having our players adjust to different styles of international play, and adjust not only from game to game, but in game. Would be a goal of ours, and prepare them for the next step. Hopefully some of them are going on to the senior national team, as Jade and Simi did in our last group, and we have some exciting players hopefully that will make that jump as well.
Lovely. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Thank you.
Neil, do you have any more questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Safe travels, Cindy.
Thanks, Neil.
Roger?
Thank you very much, everybody, and all the best. We'll be watching, that's for sure.
Thanks, Roger.
You're welcome.
Awesome. That will conclude today's media call with Cindy. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.